Hello everyone, today I am traveling to Siachen Base Camp. You can see the beautiful Siachen Glacier. Let me share the story of the Siachen Glacier. 13th April 1984 was the day when India's brave soldiers left for the snow-covered mountains of Siachen to make Operation Meghdoot a success. This was an operation that was executed by India's brave soldiers at heights of thousands of kilometers. That height where neither any human being nor any animal and neither any tree or plant was found. Due to the sunlight falling on the white sheets of snow-covered mountains, if one looked at the snow for too long, the eyes could get damaged. Forget fighting, even breathing was a big deal here. Due to the height, the temperature used to go up to -70 degrees. It was so cold that even the bones of the body would melt. Even in such a harsh and serious situation, the brave soldiers of India did not retreat and kept moving forward to accomplish their goal. To complete the operation, there was no enemy in front of the Indian soldiers at this time, but there was an enemy. Siachen had difficult terrain and bad weather conditions, but the soldiers kept moving forward, believing in themselves. During this operation, all the soldiers were divided into different groups so that they could establish control over the highest peaks of Saltoro Ridge of Siachen Glacier. But then a storm came which had no mercy on humans. This storm was not just any storm, but a storm of snow which surrounded the Indian soldiers from all sides. Due to this storm, the connection of the Indian Army with the Army headquarters was lost and the Indian soldiers were surrounded by diseases and problems caused by snow. In such a situation, the Indian heroes had two options. First, either they give up and return, or second, they stay here and sacrifice their lives to protect their country. But the Indian heroes chose the second option and planted the flag of their country on Siachen forever. Before knowing why Siachen is so important for both India and Pakistan, you must know about this glacier. Siachen is a glacier which is located in the eastern Karakoram Range of Trans-Himalayas. This glacier lies in the northeast of point NJ 9842 where the line of control between India and Pakistan ends. Being 76 kilometers long, Siachen Glacier is considered to be the longest glacier in Karakoram and the second longest glacier in the non-polar areas of the world. The northmost point of this glacier is Indira Kernel, which is approximately 911 feet high from the sea level. Its lowest part is also 11,000 feet high and the height of the highest main post is 22,000 feet high. Apart from all this, Siachen Glacier is known as the world's highest and coldest battlefield. .ang of Trans-Himalayas. This glacier lies in the northeast of point NJ 9842 where the line of control between India and Pakistan ends. Being 76 kilometers long, Siachen Glacier is considered to be the longest glacier in Karakoram and the second longest glacier in the non-polar areas of the world. The northmost point of this glacier is Indira Kernel, which is approximately 911 feet high from the sea level. Its lowest part is also 11,000 feet high and the height of the highest main post is 22,000 feet high. Apart from all this, Siachen Glacier is known as the world's highest and coldest battlefield. Siachen is surrounded by Saltoro Ridge in the west and Karakoram mountain range in the east. It is important for India in many ways. Considering the strategic importance of this location, India launched Operation Meghdoot. Due to its height, this glacier plays an important role in Central Asia, but the importance of this glacier between India and Pakistan is due to its boundary. Siachen Glacier separates Central Asia from the Indian subcontinent. On one side it has the border of Pakistan and on the other side it has the border of China. Due to this, if Pakistan ever occupies Siachen, then Pakistan will get direct connectivity with China, and at the same time Pakistan's strategic surveillance on the Ladakh region and Leh-Srinagar highway will also increase, due to which a serious threat will arise for India, an example of which we saw during the Kargil war when Pakistani soldiers infiltrated and captured Kargil. Many strategic peaks were captured. In January 2020, Army Chief General Manoj Mukund Narwane described Siachen as the place from where India was most threatened by the collusion of China and Pakistan. The 2020 clashes with China in eastern Ladakh and the ongoing tension on the line of actual control have made Siachen's importance more complex. Siachen Glacier stands as a strong barrier for India between Pakistan and China, due to which both the countries can feel the backlash during a war with India. Saltoro Ridge serves as a division between Pakistan and China and prevents Pakistan-occupied Kashmir from connecting directly with China. For this reason, given the geographic importance of Saltoro Ridge, India occupied all its high peaks in 1984. Siachen Glacier, and by occupying the Saltoro Ridge hills, India can easily keep an eye on Pakistan and China's areas 24 hours a day. That is, if any of these two countries marches towards India in the future, India will be alert in advance. Apart from this, Siachen Glacier is also considered the single largest source of fresh water in the Indian subcontinent. The Nubra River originates from here and later joins the Indus River. The Indus River is an important water source for the Punjab plains of Pakistan, which is very important for irrigating the areas there. There is also a treaty between India and Pakistan regarding this river, which is known as the Indus Waters Treaty. If India will have control over the source of this river flowing between India and Pakistan, then in the coming time, in any war situation, India can put forward its conditions to Pakistan. If seen, even after many years of independence, no country had control over Siachen. Looking at the harsh and extreme weather conditions of this area, no country ever felt that there was a need to send troops thousands of kilometers above sea level, but hope beyond this, Pakistan took some such steps which prompted India to launch Operation Meghdoot. The background of Siachen dispute also arose due to the strategic importance of its location. Pakistan understood the importance of this area very well, and for this reason it wanted to make this area its own, but then India came in between. Actually, what happened was that after independence, when the first war took place between India and Pakistan, the Karachi Agreement was signed between the two countries in 1949 to put an end to the war. According to this agreement, the representatives of both the countries decided a ceasefire line on the map of Jammu and Kashmir from Manwar in the south to Khor in the north, according to which the exact boundary of both the countries was decided. But while making the boundary, both the countries ignored the Siachen area like the British, the reason for which was the extreme weather conditions and difficult terrain there. However, after this, once again in 1965, then India-Pakistan war happened, and this time also an agreement was signed which is known as Tashkent Agreement. This agreement was signed by Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri and Pakistan President Ayub Khan. According to this, ceasefire line was named as Line of Control and Siachen area was named as No Man's Land. After this, once again war took place between India and Pakistan in 1971. After this, on 2nd July 1972, a peace treaty was signed between both the countries which is known as Shimla Agreement. According to this agreement, both the countries accepted their boundary up to Inch 9842 PO in north, and the area after that, i.e. Siachen Glacier, was not located in the map of any country and was left unmarked. Although at present India is still a part of Jammu and Kashmir as per the Jammu and Kashmir Accession Agreement of 1947. And on the basis of the Karachi Agreement of 1949, India claims the Siachen area, which defines the ceasefire line from point Aj 9842 to the northwards to the glaciers. On the other hand, Pakistan interprets it according to its own way to claim the area beyond Saltoro Ridge and beyond Siachen, and says that from Siachen to northeast what is its area. Meanwhile, Pakistan has been claiming many times that its boundary line does not end only at point Aj 9842 but goes up to the Karakoram Pass in the north, which falls on the boundary of China, but India was not ready to accept this. India believed that the Siachen area is vacant and no one is in possession of it, and Pakistan's boundary is only up to Saltoro Ridge. This dispute was not resolved for many years, but then something happened which shocked India. Actually, Pakistan always wanted to make Siachen area its own, and for this, Pakistan saw a golden opportunity to make Siachen an unclaimed part to add credibility to its claims. Under this, in the 1970s and 1980s, Pakistan started mountaineering expeditions for mountaineers from its side and started giving permission to climb many peaks of Siachen region from its side. Seeing this action of Pakistan, India became alert, because if Pakistan kept giving permission to mountaineers to climb in unauthorized areas, then that area would automatically come in Pakistan's possession. India responded to this action of Pakistan by saying in 1978, a strong military mountaineering expedition was planned, under which India started climbing a series of peaks on the east and west sides of the Siachen Glacier. The responsibility of handling this mountaineering expedition was given to Colonel Narendra Bulkumar, who was a well-known mountaineer of the Indian Army. During this expedition, Saltoro, Kangi, Indira Colonel and Apsarasu's Kangra peaks were climbed. Along with this, the Indian Army also started sending its mountaineers to the areas of Siachen for long-range patrols. But then Colonel Narendra noticed something in a map, after which only expedition and patrolling was not going to work, and now the time had come for India to take strict steps. Actually, in 1977, some German mountaineers came to India to get permission to climb the Saltoro Range. The route to climb the Saltoro Range was from Pakistan. Was easy. But although it was very difficult from the Indian side, still to give a new challenge to their climate, these mountaineers chose to climb from the Indian side. But when these mountaineers met Colonel Narendra for permission, Colonel Narendra saw a big mistake in the map that the Germans had. In the map that the Germans had, Siachen Glacier was shown as a part of Pakistan. Seeing this, Colonel Narendra became alert, and understanding the seriousness of the matter, he bought the map from the Germans. After this, Colonel Narendra, without wasting any time, immediately warned Colonel General M.L. Chibbar about this nefarious step of Pakistan. Colonel M.L. Chibbar and some senior officers studied all the old maps, after which India understood that the lines on the map have been drawn in color, and for the last 15 years, Siachen is being shown as a part of Pakistan. After knowing this, there was a stir in the military headquarters, and everyone started thinking. People were wondering what Pakistan's next step was going to be. Then the intelligence agencies informed the army about Pakistan's Operation Meghdoot. This operation was to be launched to capture the Siachen area. Keeping this operation in mind, the Indian Army also gave a suggestion to the tables to establish its control over Siachen. They talked about making a permanent post of India in the Siachen region. Everyone liked this idea of Colonel Narendra, and for this reason Colonel Narendra was honored with the name of Savior of Siachen. Now India started planning to bring the Siachen region under its control. First of all, the idea of capturing Siachen was discussed in the army headquarters. Of course, capturing Siachen was not easy, but India could not hand over the Siachen region to Pakistan under any circumstances. Due to which the Chief of Army Staff Arun Vaidya, the Cabinet Committee on Security and Indira Gandhi recommended an operation in Siachen. Permission to conduct this operation was given. Under this operation, the Indian Army was going to capture all the important and high peaks of Saltoro Ridge. Before starting the preparation of the plan, India named this operation as Operation Meghdoot. The Indian Army decided to deploy some troops in the glacier areas which were to be selected from the northern Ladakh region and paramilitary forces. Most of these troops were selected from the 1982 Antarctica training expedition, as these troops were already trained to withstand the cold and terrain like the Siachen Glacier. However, during the same period in 1983, Pakistani generals also deployed their troops in the Siachen Glacier areas. Pakistan feared that India would use its earlier expedition to easily capture the key ridges and mountain passes of the Siachen Glacier, and hence Pakistan started planning to send its troops to the glacier before India. However, to make the plan successful, first the Pakistani troops needed clothes and shoes used in the Siachen Glacier, due to which Pakistan placed its order with the same supplier in London who supplied Arctic weather gear to India. Due to placing an order with the same supplier, Pakistan failed to capture Siachen because when India placed the same order with the supplier in London, they refused to take India's order, saying that they already have a big order from Pakistan and hence they cannot supply to India right now. India became alert on hearing this and they accelerated their operation. Regarding this operation, many Pakistani officers have always said in their statements that they were lagging behind India in climbing Siachen by only a few days. Now the Indian Army, without any delay, planned to launch Operation Meghdoot on 13th April 1984. This operation was to be carried out under the leadership of General P.N. Under this operation, the task of capturing Saltoro Ridge was given to the commander of 26th Sector, Brigadier Vijay Channa, who was entrusted with the task of starting the operation between 10th and 30th April. Commander Brigadier Vijay Channa chose 13th April to start his operation because that day was Baisakhi and Pakistan could never imagine that India could launch an operation on Baisakhi. To conduct the operation, its preparation started with airlifting the troops and supplies. The task of airlifting the supplies was handled by the Indian Air Force. Before starting this operation, all the troops were provided several weeks of training. In this training, all the troops were trained in specific things like ice craft, snow craft survival, physical fitness and mental robes. The leadership of this operation was handed over to General Manohar Lal Chibbar, General P.N. and Major General Shiv Sharma. The primary objective of the operation was to prevent the Pakistani army from capturing Siala and Bilaphonla. Under this operation, 4 important passes of Saltoro Ridge were to be captured, which included Siala, Bilaphonla, Gyongla and Langla. Capturing all these passes meant control over Indira Kernel, which is the most important point of Siachen. Capturing all these passes was very important to stop Pakistan, and that is why India put its efforts to capture these passes even in the extreme cold. Before starting the operation, all the officers were assigned their tasks. General P.N. took over the command of the Indian Army, and 15 corps were deployed at Saltoro Ridge in Ladakh. A team of scouts and 4 Kumon was also deployed along with MA Unit Air Force's Cheetah helicopters. Several chains of command were formed. Colonel Pushkar Chand was made the task force commander, and he was accompanied by Captain Sanjay Kulkarni, who was the head of 4th Kumon to Bilaphonla. Major A.K. Bahuguna was to head Siala from Ladakh Scout, and Colonel D.K. Khanna was to go to Gyongla with Mo on 19th. The main target of this entire operation was Indira Kernel, which was most important for India. Within just 3 hours of landing of all 27 troops at Bilaphonla, one of the Indian soldiers suffered from high-altitude pulmonary edema. This soldier who suffered from high-altitude pulmonary edema was a radio operator. However, after reaching Bilaphonla, there was no contact between Captain Kulkarni's team and the outside world, the main reason for which was a terrible snowstorm. After facing the storm for 3 days, some medicines and other assistance could be sent to the Indian soldiers on 16th April, although by then one soldier was found suffering from hypochlorite bite. But still, facing the snow and storm, all the soldiers had set up some camps at Bilafanla by 15th April. After this, on 17th April, 5 Cheetah and 2 Mi-8 helicopters landed there. A total of 32 flights were made to Siala, after which finally the Indian tricolor started flying on the peaks of Bilafanla and Siala. By 17th April, about 300 Indian troops had captured the critical peaks and passes of Siachen Glacier. Colonel D.K. Khanna along with 19 Kumon started climbing towards Gyongla. This climb was done slowly because Gyongla was the highest and most dangerous peak of Saltoro Ridge. Capturing it was not easy, but with their faith and hard work, everyone kept moving towards their goal. All the climbing troops thought that they would capture Gyongla by the first week of June, but on 17th April, it was time for the Pakistani army to climb Siachen, due to which the Indian army troops started coming in their sight. By the way, Pakistan had already come to know about the Indian army due to the use of radio, such that when an Indian soldier died due to cold, the troops took 10. Radio was used to inform the soldiers so that the body of the soldier could be given a respectful farewell at the right time. All the soldiers knew that by doing this, Pakistan would get a clue about them, but still they did what was necessary for them at that time. What was feared by this action of the Indian soldiers happened. Pakistan came to know about their movement and they prepared a force to capture Bilafanla along with Saltoro Ridge. The name of this force was Burjil Force, which was prepared under Operation Meghdoot. Pakistan chose 23rd June to attack, and around 5:30 in the morning, Pakistan attacked the Indian army. This attack started from Bilafanla, where Captain Kulkarni had established his fleet with his force. Till now, there were many Indian camps in Bilafanla, with the help of which India kept a sharp eye on this place. A nearby peak was used for surveillance. Each soldier was deployed on an hourly basis who used to keep an eye on the nearby area. On the day Pakistan attacked India, Lance Naik Chanchal Singh was on surveillance duty. During duty, Chanchal Singh suddenly saw the movement of Pakistani soldiers below Bilafanla. On seeing this, he immediately informed Sanjay Kulkarni about the enemy attack. On receiving the news, all the Indian soldiers took their positions and got ready to face the enemy, but the firing from Pakistan was very fast and dangerous. During this firing, a Pakistani soldier fired at Lance Naik Chanchal Singh. Chanchal Singh died on the spot due to the bullet injury and became a martyr. Seeing their soldier die, the Indians became furious and decided to teach Pakistan a lesson. In the attack, first an Indian soldier shot the Pakistani in the head who had shot Lance Naik Chanchal Singh. For some time, firing continued even at heights like Siachen, but India defeated Pakistan badly in this attack. 26 Pakistani soldiers were killed in this attack and India lost only 1. Even after losing here, the Pakistanis did not stop and once again attacked the Indian soldiers in June itself, but in this attack too Pakistan had to face a crushing defeat from India. 2 more attacks were made in August 1984, but these attacks were also crushed by Indian soldiers and 30 Pakistani soldiers were killed. In the midst of all this, at a height of 5,700 meters, Captain D.K. Khanna and his team had also won Gyongla. India had won all the 4 peaks of Saltoro Ridge, i.e. Siala, Bilafanla, Gyongla and Chalu La, and now Siachen was India's. It was not easy for India to stab its control over Siachen. The biggest difficulty for India here was not the enemy but the cold that people like you and me can never tolerate. But with its courage and hard work, the Indian army made its country's name known on Siachen. Shortly after the victory, the Indian Army converted all its camps into permanent posts and started guarding here continuously. Operation Meghdoot was such a war between the Indian Army and the Siachen hostiles, in which our soldiers were martyred more due to weather conditions and cold than enemy bullets. After this operation, Pakistan made many attempts to capture Siachen. But Indian soldiers did not let this happen. However, in April 1986, Pakistan Army established a control stop on the highest peak of Siachen Glacier, south of Bilafandla, and set up a military post there, creating Ked Post. But in response to this audacity of Pakistan, the Indian Army launched Operation Rajiv in June 1987 and once again defeated the Pakistani forces. In honor of Nayab Subedar Bana Singh, who led this operation, the name of Quaid Post was changed to Bana Top. Once again in 1987, Brigadier General of the Pakistani Army, Pervez Musharraf launched Operation Kadat to recapture the Quaid Post, but this time too, the Indian Army launched Operation Vajra Shakti and Pakistan had to face defeat. In March 1989, the Indian Army launched Operation Ibex to capture the Pakistani post overlooking the Chume Glacier. Once again in 1992, the Indian Army launched Operation Trishul Shakti to protect the Bahadur post in Chilu. The purpose of launching this operation was to attack the Pakistani assault team. It does not stop, but once again in 1995 the Battle of Takshi Post takes place, in which Pakistan this time attacks the Takshi Post situated in the southern borders of Saltoro defense line, but this time also India wins. Even after the completion of this entire operation, Pakistan makes many more attempts to defeat India in Siachen, but it does not succeed even once. Every time the brave Indians drive away the Pakistani army. Through Operation Meghdoot, India won back the area occupied by Pakistan, and the result was that today it controls about 76 kilometers and 2,500 sq kilometer area of Siachen Glacier. However, Pakistan started the Kargil War in 1999 with the hope that it might be able to capture Siachen as well, but you all know the result. In this war also Pakistan had to face defeat and was unable to control Siachen. It is not easy to protect Siachen because it demands the sacrifice of Indian soldiers. Since India has taken control of Siachen, till date, about 100 Indian soldiers have lost their lives in protecting Siachen. Soldiers have to face many problems here, including high winds, altitude sickness, frostbite and temperature, but for the safety of our country, our soldiers are ready to face every challenge. We hope you liked our video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to receive alerts as soon new video is released.